Good morning, class. Welcome in. This is our first discussion in this economics course. We're going to start out to chapter 1, section 1. What is economics? Okay, so let's take a look at wants versus needs. Economics often deals with this question of wants versus needs. So when we look at wants versus needs, what are some examples of wants? What are some examples of needs? Okay, so I can think of a couple things. I want a Lamborghini. I want a plasma flat screen TV. Those are wants. But in terms of needs, what do I need? I need food, I need water, I need shelter. Okay? So, at home, think of, three current wants that you have and three current needs that are affecting your everyday life. Okay? So when we take a look at a need is basically something that is necessary for survival. All right? Anything else would be considered a want. People want new cars, they want phones, they want video games. People feel that they need these things. With limited resources, individuals satisfy their unlimited wants by making choices. And that's really what it comes down to. Economics is going to be a lot and lot of choices. So, economics in general. Economics is the study of how people make choices about ways to use limited resources to fulfill their wants. So, microeconomics is the branch of economic theory that deals with behavior and decision making by small units such as individuals and firms. So, what we're looking at with microeconomics is we're looking at our day-to-day decisions, our transactions, what we do, moving from place to place, what a small business might do. That's at a micro level. So again, micro meaning small. Macroeconomics is the branch of economic theory that's dealing with the economic look as a whole, and basically decision making made by large units such as government. So your GDP, your trade, nation to nation. That's at the macro level. We're also looking at corporations having a huge hand in macro level economics. Okay, so again, those are the two differences. Those are the two studies when we look at economics. Now, there is something we call the problem of scarcity. So let's jump into that real quick. So the need for choice occurs because everything that exists is limited. Okay, although some items like trees appear to they basically think, we think that they have infinite supply. It's still not the case. So what happens? Competition forces these resources and leads us to the main problem in economics, which is scarcity. So scarcity means that people do not and cannot have enough income and time to satisfy their every want. So even Jeff Bezos, okay, unbelievable amount of wealth, billions upon billions of dollars, he does not have time to satisfy all of his wants. It simply cannot happen. So scarcity and shortages are different. Scarcity always exists because of competition over resources, so whether it's individuals or it's nations competing over resources. However, shortages exist for a brief amount of time. So during a natural disaster, during power outages, during a pandemic, all right, that's when we start seeing shortages when a particular item is no longer in supply. And we'll take a look at that down the road. Okay, so we're also going to want to take a look at the factors of production. Now, scarce resources are defined by the factors of production. These are resources needed to produce goods and services. Okay, the first one is land. So natural resources, an example, again, plot of land, water, animals, plants, other gifts of nature. Okay, that is a source as a factor of our production. Labor. Okay, so what goes into this production? Human effort directed toward producing goods and services. So an example, again, that's our workforce. That's what we're looking at there. Basically, employees, labor is us. It's us putting work into a situation. We also have goods. So these are tangible objects that can satisfy our wants and needs. So an example of a good would be something like coffee. That's a good. There's also something called services. So services are actions that can satisfy people's wants or needs. So we look at what doctors and dentists do. That's a service. If somebody is mowing your lawn and doing landscaping, that's a service. Okay, it's not a good. It's not something that's produced. It's a service that's being conducted. Okay, we also have something called capital. Okay, so capital is previously manufactured goods to make other goods and services. Okay, so our capital goods, these are your machines, your buildings, your tools to make other cars, and an auto factory. These would be considered examples of capital goods. Now, productivity, this is the amount of output, goods and services that results from a given level of input. Okay, I'm basically looking at land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Now, when capital is combined with land and labor, the value of all three factors of production is going to increase. Okay, let's finish up here today on entrepreneurship and technology. So when individuals, all right, when they take risks to develop new products and start new businesses in order to make profits, this is known as an entrepreneurship, okay? Entrepreneurs have a ton of responsibility. They have to incur the costs of failed efforts. Typically, 30% of new businesses are going to fail. Only a handful will become incredibly successful, and the odds are against you, okay, as an entrepreneur, okay? You start from scratch, it is not an easy journey. Now, technology is going to include all the uses of science to develop new products and new methods for producing and distributing goods and services. The more land and capital that you have, the wealthier you might be. All right, if your entrepreneurial skills are top notch, you're likely to have a high income as well. So, if you can combine land capital and some really good entrepreneur skills, you're going to have the opportunity to thrive in a capitalistic society. Okay? All right, so there's an intro. What is economics? Basically, looking at wants versus needs and looking at our major factors of production. Okay? All right, thanks a lot, folks. There's going to be a journal log that's attached to this. That's going to be due. And we're also going to start out with our first project, which is our social studies profile. All right? Have a good one, folks. Take care.